Thanks for tuning back in to another installment of the podcast. We've got some good things today. We're going to be talking about Ninja Kamui. Premiered last Sunday. Was it? Yeah, Sunday
Saturday.
morning.
Oh, yeah, Saturday going into Sunday at 12 a.m.
At midnight, part of the Toonami block. But
late night.
It was, late night anime. Back to those good old days, of Toonami.
It's been forever since I tuned into Toonami to watch anime. It's bringing back like memories when I would watch Naruto when it was on Toonami. It's good. Feels good.
Just a throwback. I didn't know Toonami was back.
Yeah. Well, apparently
I was like, wait, what?
I looked further into it, and I guess it returned back in 2014, actually, officially. And it's just been kind of slowly rolling back and gaining its midnight status on Saturday for, I think, goes for like 3 hours. But yeah, it's back,
Sai, it's your paradise because they only show dub anime.
I remember.
That's true.
Remember the late nights? The late nights.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember a lot of obscure ones too, like Dot Hack. I remember watching on there, and just some other really bizarre ones.
I only remember. Well, I don't know. Full Metal Alchemist, was that on Toonami or Adult Swim? Because I remember that coming on at 4 in the morning.
Everything anime related was on the Toonami hour block of Adult Swim.
But why was Full Metal Alchemist on at 4 a.m.?
Because that was part of the Adult Swim block.
But not the Toonami.
Part of the Toonami block, yes. Toonami is a segment about anime on Adult Swim.
No, but I vaguely remember, watching Toonami, the guy with the spacesuit welcoming you. Yeah. He says, all right, we're going to watch like this, and that. And then we watch it. And then he goes, well, that's it for Toonami. And then it goes into Adult Swim. And at 4 a.m., Full Metal Alchemist would be on.
I think you're misremembering it. Anime.
Because I remember being up at 4 a.m. in my living room watching Full Metal Alchemist on Adult Swim and getting yelled at for being up that late.
Little Chris just, up way too late past his bedtime.
I'm pretty sure Adult Swim included anime outside of Toonami. Like, that's where Trigun was. It was not in Toonami.
I specifically remember everything anime related was on Toonami. I don't remember being branded
this because I don't think Toonami would run till 4 a.m.
Well, regardless, we're back with some Toonami. We're back with the spaceship guy. Which does he have a name? I don't recall.
Is it Tom?
Isn't his name Toonami?
Isn't he Tom or something?
No, I think it is Tom. The little AI might have called him Tom.
I don't remember.
But yeah, we're back. We watched Ninja Kamui, which is Tom.
Toonami Operations Module.
Oh, look at that.
That is all these years I never knew what that was. I thought it was just, hey, it's Tom.
Yeah. But yeah, we watched it. We watched the premiere. We hopped on a little Discord call and watched it right at midnight when it aired. And there were some good thoughts. But, before we jump into that, I just want to quickly ask you two how you're doing with your we're on week 6 of the winter season. How's it feel? If you had like a couple of words to summarize what you've watched so far.
Not as hard as last season.
Yeah, I'm gonna it's definitely not as difficult to get through as
last season.
It wasn't last season, was it?
Yeah,
fall
season. No.
Did I?
Winter 2024.
Well, despite whatever, it's going good. I'm averaging 3 to 4 stars per episode.
No.
Except for 7th time loop, I'm not enjoying.
Yeah, that's still pretty high. I was looking at the Mal scores today. Mm-hmm. It's still pretty high. It's in the top 10.
I saw that too, and I don't know why. Because it's not as good as the other shows in my opinion.
They got a big community probably. Who knows?
I don't know. It's all right. It's not as, I know it was one of the ones I picked. It's not, the story's okay. It's a little slow still from where it was, but it's not bad. It hasn't gone down, at least for me. I don't know. I think everything's been kind of still at a slow pace, but it's good. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we look at, I don't know how much of the groundbreaking solo leveling you guys watched, but
I'm on episode 5.
I'm on 4 dubbed.
It was it was annoyingly slow for me, and I feel like this last episode with episode 6 just kind of gave me the peek into what we've all been expecting it to be. Like, okay, this is now a AAA title anime right here we have that we're watching.
I've always thought it had a good pace to it. I mean, the first episode felt a little rushed, but moving from that, it started to pick up more and more. I've been invested. I saw a little spoiler online about episode 6, so I know that's when it's going to happen. But I'm really, like, so far the top at my list, which might sound surprising to you guys, is A Sign of Affection.
No
Really?
way. No way.
Oh my God.
Really
is it because Valentine's Day is coming up, Chris? Are you
Did
feeling
you
a little emotional about it?
a romantic note in that heart of yours?
Your heart grew twice as big after watching Sign of Affection.
I think that is one of the most shocking things you said on this.
You want to hear what else is shocking? I'm also enjoying Cherry Magic.
Well, that
not as much though. You said, right?
Not as much, but it's still up there. Like, I'm surprised I enjoy watching it. So,
man, look at that. Chris has moved on from.
All I'm going to say
adventure.
is, if you are the type of person like me before who only watched anime for action and stuff, give other things a chance, because you never know what you might like. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Damn, I think that's a good note to end that on, because that's quite a surprise. We'll see how the end of the season goes and what we thought about all of that. But damn, I'm really curious about this. We try not to talk about what we're watching as much as possible to save it for the end. But damn,
I just can't wait for us to cut this clip in to the next episode for finale, and Chris be like, "It was awful. I hated it completely."
Or I'll just take the previous one and stitch it together with that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say when I was talking about it. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's funny.
But damn, all right. But yeah, let's jump into
Ninja Kamui.
Ninja Kamui.
So,
do we want to?
Yeah, run it down, Chris.
So we're following this man who went by Logan. That's an alias, we come to learn, but he's a former ninja, seeking solace from his past life of ninja-ing around and brutality. He lives with his wife and kid, who also have different identities. Happy life.
They're
living a happy life. We're introduced to, this ninja organization, kind of like a SEAL team coming in and taking people out, and you could only assume what's going to happen. But one night, unsuspectingly, Joe is ambushed by this ninja SEAL team, takes him out like a badass, but then, unfortunately, his wife and kid are murdered by this team, and now this becomes a story of redemption, finally revealing his true identity.
Redemption or revenge? Revenge.
A little bit
revenge.
Of both. Redemption?
Revenge.
Did I say
redemption? Yeah, it's definitely revenge.
It's a revenge story.
Yes, it's a revenge story.
It's John Wick on ninja.
That's what I was gonna say.
Ninja cocaine.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's literally John Wick. But yeah, so we have this revenge story. This guy, Joe, he was on the brink of death, if not already dead, but he came back with some super plot armor, and now he's out to get this organization and do his due diligence and seek to avenge his family. That's what we're given in the first episode,
and launch his hit music career in the process.
Oh yeah, forgot about that music video.
There was a
drop
great
that in there
within the first
acoustic cover.
Yeah, he's literally there sitting around a fire and he's singing. I have no idea what, but some country song.
It's his own song, I think, maybe.
If in the sub version, it's like a completely different song.
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah,
probably. But
I want to watch the sub. I don't like it.
They have it up. It's on HBO Max.
Well, some people don't have
both.
HBO Max.
Yeah, neither do I. It's way too expensive. Yeah. But it's all of the streaming services are way too expensive now.
That's a separate episode right there.
Yeah, that's a separate.
We're not going to talk about
that. The growing downfall.
We could do it into a pyramid on who's the most expensive tournament bracket.
No, yeah, but yeah, it's but it is on Max on next day on both English and sub for it. But yeah, I do wonder how it sounds, because the voice acting, which I don't know if you guys noticed, I certainly did not notice, and I actually went and looked it up before we started. The voice actor for Joe is the same English voice actor that plays Aqua in Oshinoko.
I did not know that.
Talk about two different styles of voice for that.
I mean, they're both revenge plot oriented series.
One's a little more violent, I would say.
Yeah, Oshinoko is just gore galore.
Another thing that I learned, I looked it up. So the man who's directing, I think, the show, Sung-ho
Park, yeah.
He worked on the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen.
And the movie.
And
yeah.
He was in something else. He did something else.
So he's done a lot of things, but this is one of his, I think it's like the second or third thing that he's been the lead animation director on.
Right.
In his new studio. He created a new studio, and they're the ones who are doing this. But yeah, he was the lead animation director on Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 and co-lead director for the movie. But he's been
immediately see his.
I was gonna say you could tell right away.
Yeah.
Any of the fight scenes or that, but yeah, he's been an animator for a very long time. I saw he's like worked on a bunch of stuff as just animator. But I was surprised because I thought that this might have been the same studio that did Boondocks, because this looks so heavily like Boondocks inspired. Yeah, I don't know if that's because it's just a Toonami Adult Swim like style that they like to
That's
hit.
what I had a lot of vibes. That's what I felt like. Like Chris said earlier, I don't even know if it was in the beginning or we were just chit chatting, but like you getting those nostalgic vibes from when we watched Toonami as a kid, and that's really what it felt like. The style of animation, the color,
Yeah, I wonder if that's kind of what they were like when they like pitched it to them to do. Like, we want it in the style of Boondocks, because they were supposed to bring back the series and then they canceled it. And like that was such a great show of story, animation, action, and comedy. But this is definitely, I think, going to focus more on that action side. But
yeah, it's definitely going to be a ton of action and like no real. I don't want to say no real story, but like not a lot.
I mean,
substance.
from what we watched, no real story.
Yeah,
I mean, there are few words. It wasn't. I don't want to say bad because it was only the first episode, even though I've said that many of times before with other things, but it was just very lackluster and like I don't know what this. We spent half of the episode just like, I felt like in that music video, just waiting until night fell, and then a very long ass montage to get like a 10-minute of action fighting, and then go back to that montage again when they slowly reveal that his old life is over and now he's on a path of revenge.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a story that we've kind of seen before, a revenge story, really. And it took a long time to get. I mean, again, you said it's the first episode, but it took us a long time to kind of understand what was happening. I know I had questions. Like in the beginning, you don't find out that they're, spoilers, that the family with Joe and his family are, a ninja family, basically, because I was just like, well, what's that, blue hexagonal stuff going around their heads? What is that? But they lead into it over at the end, but there's just like, it was slow for me to pick up.
I thought, despite not really knowing what was going on, it was more of a spectacle because of those huge fight scenes. It's very brutal. They do not hold back on the brutality.
No.
A year ago, I would have said this is top tier because it is ninjas fighting and no romance or fan service. But
it has a very acclaimed director too. But
it does.
Yeah, I mean, outside of those fight scenes, I feel like it's a very mid-tier series, and especially to those.
For now. I would say, like, for me, the pros that I look at for this are animation style, the fight scenes, all right, and the wonderful music video that we got to witness. Those are the top three that I could pull from it. The story is the only thing right now that's kind of holding it back because
the story
you said lackluster. It's very generic of a revenge story, John Wick style.
Yeah, the script was just very generic and felt almost comical to a degree where it was, but it was just like even some of the wording, and especially to that main villain that's in there with the braids and everything that's leading the Black Ops team. His voice when he was speaking too was just like, okay, this
did not match.
Yeah, it was like, this is very kind of comical.
I think the dubbing doesn't do a good job.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to watch it subbed.
Yeah,
if it sounds more serious, because I was expecting a deeper, more sinister voice.
There was one scene. It's when the police officer found the bodies, all those bodies in the hospital.
The ninjas, the elevator.
And all he was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you be a little bit more surprised?
So wait, that could be two different things though, because we don't know much about this character. Either he thinks like, oh, this isn't that bad, but what the heck happened? Like maybe he's seen some stuff, or maybe he's just clueless and they really didn't do a good job with the dub. Like
he was
because even the animation. Oh, I just punched the mic. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Even the animation, he was like very calm about it. But again, he is like an FBI agent, so
I'm very curious if they and we did this during our dub versus sub episode, which maybe we'll revisit and do a little bit better episode surrounding that after seeing something like this. But do you guys remember that show we watched called Ghost Stories, where they pretty much improvised the whole series because the director was just like, here's what's going on. We didn't. It has like some of the most bizarre dubbing ever done. I feel like that was what
I was gonna say. Is that the one where the cat's like she's a witch and a bitch or something like that?
Exactly.
And we're like, what?
Thing. Yeah, she's a witch and a bitch.
This is not real. This is not real.
Exactly. But I feel like maybe that's what's going on with it. I don't know if he also directed like the scripting, because this isn't based on anything. If he was just like, I don't really handle this much. So here's what I'm envisioning. Just kind of go with it. And I trust your judgment on what to say.
No, I doubt that's what's happening.
I don't know. I mean, that feels like a very Adult Swim thing to do for me. I'm really surprised Adult Swim and Toonami haven't really tried to do like pay one of those anime abridged channels to just put out a series in an abridged. I feel like that's the most adult thing. Adult Swim. It's very up their alley. Exactly. But
times have changed.
But yeah, I'm curious. Honestly, if you were to count up the whole words on it, I feel like there wasn't that much speaking at all. Like,
no, that's why I was saying it's more spectacle over substance. Like,
I mean, you get a lot out of the story though from just the action scenes. Like you find out right away, like, okay, the ninjas that are running away from this organization, or not running away, but like in hiding and trying to get away from it, are still extremely skilled beyond belief. And to the fact that if you're one ninja and they need a squad of like 30 plus to take you down, I mean, that was wild. I was just like, yo, what in the world? Because that got ruined for me because I went into this completely blank, but then, somehow on Instagram, somebody sent me a clip and then ruined the fight scene for me. So
who would ever do such a horrible thing?
I don't know.
Social media, we had it planned and everything, and then someone just dropped that. But
the day of
ridiculous, unforgivable.
But yeah, I am curious to see like why they're being hunted down. There's definitely something going on with, like, I guess maybe an old ninja squadron, because we're introduced that businessman at the beginning.
What I think being hunted. Is these are people who abandoned like that ninja tribe.
You can't get out or something.
Do you think they were like all in the same like squadron? Because clearly,
I don't think it was the same squadron. I just think it's the same ninja syndicate.
Yeah, because he said that he didn't recognize this person, when they said like his coworkers didn't know anything about him, like the first ninja who died in the beginning. Ultimately, I think all the ninjas are going after them to tell them about their car's extended warranty. They're just got to really let them know. So, and they're in hiding. So,
I mean, that's important. Once that warranty's gone, you can't renew it.
No possible way.
But yeah, but I mean, after watching it, I thought it was like a 6.9, like really great, but I have no idea what's going on. I don't know story wise what's going on.
And do you think it's a little bit of nostalgia that's making that score a little bit higher?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like for me, that's I want to feel hopeful for this. Like I'm like, oh, this is maybe something I can really enjoy.
This definitely feels like old school anime, like exactly what you were saying at the beginning, Chris, of like, oh, I tuned this in when I was a kid, and just like you never knew what you were gonna see or watch, and just some random new series, especially now with how mainstream anime's become across, like the just like everybody in the world and all the streaming and how popular it's become. I feel like putting like original series like up on this on Toonami and Adult Swim is definitely kind of thrown back to that.
Toonami and Adult Swim were ahead of its time. Like
exactly.
Way too far ahead of its time.
That's why it got just like anything ahead of its time got canceled and then brought back because it's the right time for it. It's what everyone wanted. But yeah,
because like what other medium did we have to watch from? You know, then
no. Well, I think there was some premium channels, but yeah, this was like for everyone.
Yeah.
It's really crazy to think about it now. Like, you know, when we were younger, when Toonami was on and anime was on TV, there was like you could not openly say, "Oh, I love this anime," because you would have been made fun of or something. But now it's the zeitgeist; everyone watches it.
And that's what they expected you to watch.
My question is, why now?
It was up for me.
Why is anime popular now? You know,
it's a hip thing. But I mean, look, we could look at it two different ways.
Streaming too. I feel like it has to do heavily with the streaming, and
you could look at it two different ways. You can look at it for like people are. I keep hitting my mic. I'm sorry, guys. We can look at it two different ways, and that is like it's the hip new trend where it's getting word out, and people are, oh, this is cool. My friends are starting to like it. Exactly. Or is it like we could look at it this way, like wow, like so many other people are starting to enjoy, you know, the art that we like to enjoy, more to talk about, you know? Because I remember like when I first met John, for instance, working with him, and then, you know, if we started talking about anime, it was just like heads turn real quick, and then, oh, hey, let's stop work and just start chatting, you know? And there wasn't many people we could be talking to about that sort of thing.
Here's what I think.
It's definitely over the last couple of years, it's exploded.
I think, one, anime itself is a medium. It's a different way to tell a story, like a book, a video game, a movie, TV show, right? It's a different medium. And in that medium, you can do so much more. And you can relate to people. You can show something fantastical. You can show slice of life. But with anime, it creates this reality that could be the same or could be drastically different. And I feel like given the times now, like how, you know, COVID happened and the climate's going crazy, like everything in the world is like exploding.
Yeah, everyone wants anime is giving the next entertainment escape that, even though it's been, and it has such a huge backlog and catalog
huge content
of things for it that people weren't really privy to before, and it used to be very niche. You'd have to like look it up on series, and then we got Crunchyroll, which again was another thing ahead of its time. Not everybody used or
RIP Funimation.
Yeah. But well, now it's Crunchyroll X Funimation on their website. They've got which about time. You know, they made me cancel my subscription 2 years ago when this was announced, and said, yeah, in the coming months, all the Funimation content will be on Crunchyroll, and you'll be able to just pick right up and watch. Cut to 2.5 years later, it's still not completely done, but now they've officially closed down Funimation's website. But
slow process.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's the superhero effect. You know, movies wanted something different to move on to. Streaming services wanted something different. They launched the whole thing. Superheroes were very niche. It was a way to escape and give people something new and fresh. And just like any fantasy, we went from like sci-fi to fantasy, hard fantasy, and then to superheroes, and now anime is just the next stop on that train of like, well, what's the next entertainment gold mine for people? And I think with streaming sites and, you know, pop culture pushing it to like really drive it out there and not dive too much on what I was saying of it's also ruining it. Yeah, I just feel like that's what's really pushed it. Yeah, really pushed it. Whether you think they're handling it correctly or bad, it's just definitely grown into the mainstream now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We live in an interesting time, but I'm happy anime, is popular.
Thriving,
People are loving it.
It's recession proof.
Yeah, so let's see where Ninja Kamui takes us. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch it because I don't have cable and I also don't have HBO Max. So,
well, I think you can watch it on Adult Swim. I think you can watch it on Adult Swim with ads.
HBO Max, though, has it, you said?
Yeah, because HBO Max,
I can watch it. I'm pretty sure I have it.
Since they own the channel that Adult Swim leases time on, they like have a partnership to stream their stuff. But yeah, like I said, I gave it a 6.9 just because I've no idea of the story other than the animation, which like a bulk of that scoring went to. Yeah,
I'll hit it on the lower end. I'll do a 6 flat.
Yeah, I know on the Mal score, I think it's sitting at a 8.5 something. Ooh. Yeah,
what's Mouse?
Mal, my anime list.
Oh,
yeah, the Mal score.
Mal, I never heard it called Mal.
Me
before.
neither.
I've heard other people on.
I thought you were saying
YouTube.
Meow.
That's what I thought too.
Meow list? Like the Meow list. I'm like, what list? What?
The Mal score, the My Anime List score. Yeah, it's
like
8.53. All right, we'll go.
John's trying to get people to catch on to it, so it's like, I remember when I started calling it the Meow.
Yeah, only the new generation really says the My Anime List or the Annie Trends for their stuff, but
it's actually sitting at 8.44.
Well, earlier today it was at 8.5 something. So,
well, it's going down.
And they're dropping the episodes weekly. Is that what it is, John?
Yeah, it's weekly on Adult Swim. But yeah.
All right. Well, I want some comments. I want some comments from our viewers. If you watch it, tell us what you think. Is this going to be a good AAA hit from Toonami? Coming back.
Well, Toonami has been back.
Well, this is their first.
Not their first. They did the Blade Runner miniseries that was like Adult Swim X Crunchyroll.
Oh, I thought this was their first original anime coming back.
No. They've done.
No?
They did Blade Runner. They did another one.
Damn.
This is just like their most recent one. But yeah,
I must have thought I heard something.
I think you just heard what you wanted to hear. Okay.
Yeah, just like you. You're like, oh, swords? Oh, no dialogue? Oh, man, this is my anime.
That is what I heard.
He was like, I'm about to vend with excitement.
I'm about to vend. Most iconic moment. I'm gonna vend.
All right, yeah, well, give Ninja Kamui a watch. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. And then tune in pretty soon for the wrap-up of the winter anime season.
We've still got 6 weeks.
We do, but I'm dropping that so people can get excited.
We're midway through. We're midway through. But yeah, do come back. Maybe in the next 2 weeks, week 8, we'll have put together another little mini-sode to keep the content rolling. But yeah, let us know what you think. Go watch Boondocks too, because that's give it some love. And yeah,
it has an iconic opening theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuck in my head now.
Play us out in it.
Play us out.
Bust out that flute.
I don't even know what they say. I was gonna start singing.